So wonderful pear tree. Once upon a time, a countryman came into the town on market day and brought a load of very special pears with him to sell. He set up his good barrow at a good corner and soon had a great crowd round him, for everyone knew he always sold extra fine pears, though he did also ask an extra high price. Now, while he was crying up his fruit, a poor old rag, hungry looking price stopped just in the front of the barrow and humbly begged him one of the pears. But the countryman refused. He called the price bad names. Good sir, said the price. You have hundreds of pears on your barrow. I only asked you for one. You would never even know you had lost one. Really, you had need get angry. Give him a rotten pear that will make him happy, said a man in the crowd. The old price is quite right. You'd never miss it. He said, I want, and I want, and I want, cried the countryman. And all the people close by began shouting. The constable of the market, hearing half, hurried up, and when he had made out what was the matter, pulled some cash out of his purse, brought a pear, and gave it to the price. For he was afraid the noise would come to the ears of the mandarin who was just being carried down the street. The old price took the pear with a long bow and held up in front of the crowd, saying, You all know I have no home, no parents, no children, and no food, because I gave up everything when I became the price. So it passes me how anyone can be selfish and so stingy as to refuse to give me one single pear. No, I am a quite different sort of man from this countryman. I have here some perfectly exhibit pears, and I shall feel most deeply honored if you will accept them from me. Why on earth didn't you eat them yourself instead of begging for one? Asked man in the crowd. Ah, answered the price. I must grow them first. So he ate up the pear, only leaving a single pea. Then he took a big, dug a deep hole in the ground at his feet and planted the pea, which he covered all over with earth. Will someone fetch me some hot water to water these? He asked. The people who were crowding around, though he was only joking. But one of them ran and fetched a kettle of boiling water and gave it to the prince, who very carefully poured it over the place where he had sought. All the time this had been going on, the countryman, quite forgetting his barrow and pears, had been in the midst of crowd and standing on the tips of his toes, and straining eyes to try to make out what was happening. But when the old price had gone and the crowd was getting thin, he turned to his barrow and saw with horror, and it was empty. Every single pear had gone. In a moment, he understood what had happened. The pears the old price had been so generous in giving away were the countryman's. What was more, one of the handles of his barrow was missing. He was in a towering rage and rushed as fast as he could after the prize. But just as he returned the corner, he saw lying close to the wall the barrow handle, which without any doubt was a very pear tree which the price cut down. All the people in the market were simply splitting their sides with laughter. But as for the price, no one saw him anymore. Then, almost while he was pouring, they saw first a tiny green sprout, then another pushing their heads above the ground, then one leaf uncurled, then another while shoots kept growing taller and taller. There stood before them a young tree with a few branches and a few leaves, then more leaves, then flowers, and last of all, clusters of hedge. Smiling pears weighing the branches down the ground. Now the priest's face shone with pleasure, and the crowd roared with delight when he picked the pears, handing them with a bow to each man present. Then the priest took pick again, hacked at the tree until it filled with a brush. He carried the tree, leaves and all, and with a final bow, he walked away.